Hi gang, Rob here. It is the afternoon of 24 October 2017, coming to you with another From the Sharpening Bench video today. And this one's going to be on a knife I was pretty excited to see released. This is the Spyderco Endura in mahogany Pakkawood with a blade of clad, come on baby, HAP 40 high-speed powdered tool steel, a steel that I really love. I own a Delica in HAP 40, and it's very, very similar in performance, in my experience, to CPM M4. Crucible actually makes an equivalent to HAP 40 called CPM Rex 30 or Rex 45. Rex 45, I don't know, one of those. Anyway, I think it performs a lot like CPM M4. In fact, I got an old video out there somewhere of me whacking away in a perpendicular fashion with my HAP 40 Delica and my Gale Bradley. And a piece of pine hammering with the cutting edge had no effect on either one of those blade steels. It sharpens about like M4. It takes a polish like M4. An edge keenness like M4, and it seems to be tough and have lots of edge retention like M4. Love the stuff. So I was really excited to see a steel-lined, high-line lockback Endura come out in the Pakkawood scales. Now before I go any further, I got to tell you where this comes from, because this is a special factory order by Knife Center for Spyderco. So your Spyderco part number is Charlie 10W Delta Paul. The Endura 4 folding knife in HAP 40 and SUS 410. SUS 410 is your cladding steel. And it's a Knife Center inclusive, and it sells for $143.97. Still in stock as of the making of this video. So I love the Seki City lined lockbacks. I love their hafting. Notice how nearly indistinguishable lock bar and back spring are from liners. The lock bar and back spring are always flush right here. The H that's generated by the liners, the lock bar and the blade is always beautiful. Of course, you notice they have a fun time finishing that HAP 40. Not quite the same satin as those two meet up, but everything's just solid and square and tight and buttoned up. Blade centering is probably perfect as usual, and it is. Action is nice. Don't need to talk much about the FFG full flat ground Endura blade profile. Superb utility, about 3.8 inches of blade. I think the blade stock's like 3/32 on these. I believe that's right. Like 93 thousandths or so. Distal taper, very gradual. The grind is very gradual. The full flat grind is only about 4.4 degrees inclusive. Comes to a very skinny dimension behind the edge. This is sharpened at 15 degrees per side with a little tiny micro bevel of 17 degrees. You can see with that edge geometry, I'm trying to get the most out of that HAP 40. Notice 15 degrees per side, but a pretty thin edge bevel. Not very broad at all. I love the contrast between that slightly blackening HAP 40 and the 410 stainless cladding. Isn't that gorgeous? I do have a gripe though. It doesn't show on this one because this is basically a brand new knife except for the sharpening. My Delica is very much a user, my HAP 40 Delica, and it drives me nuts. I mean, I cut cardboard with that thing and I get funky scratches in my 410 stainless cladding. It drives me up the wall. I'm resatining that thing all the time. The cladding is very soft, and the blades just end up they look bad in a very short order. I think this came out pretty sharp. I just love I love the rewarding nature of half 40 when you sharpen it. It's just luscious stuff. Luscious. So Lockback Seki City construction and finishing are first rate. The blade is a work of art. The steel is amazing. The cladding kind of blows. Here's my sort of complaint about this knife, and maybe it's just this one. I don't know. But look at this wood. It's a very satiny kind of a finish. So no gloss at all. And maybe this is just one bad layer of mahogany, but the grain of this wood is just not attractive on either side. The layers, and Pakkawood is a trade named laminated wood product, so you can see the layers clearly, especially if you look in the finger chamfer. But the grain isn't very outstanding. The sanding on the wood is not very good, so where you have end grain, it just turns almost black with the stain that they're putting on it. And obviously this scale, we got a pretty porous section of grain on the surface, just not very attractive, especially when you compare it to similar products. Like here's a Benchmade 940-1601. I don't know if they're calling this diamond wood, which is one brand of stabilized laminated wood, or which particular brand it is, but that's just so much more attractive. And not to mention something like you get with maybe a custom scale desert ironwood burl, as shown here on my Gale Bradley. Or, here's another production knife with wood inlays. This is my Sebenza in box elder burl. Just everything about it is a lot better looking. Even the Sage 4, the Lockback Sage with titanium bolsters and Arizona ironwood scales, was just a lot better looking than this. In fact, obviously, guys, these are all my knives. I like me some wood, even on a modern folder, and I was very excited about the Endura in Pakkawood until I saw one in person. I'm just like, oh, okay. I don't know, would I still buy one? Maybe I might. They're not overpriced at $143, not by any means. But I can't say I wouldn't rather spend, $120 on a burnt orange FRN version. The weight that you get with the stainless steel lined construction and the wood scales is considerable over a base Endura. And I'm not sure with the appearance of quality in the wood scales that's good weight, because obviously you're not getting any grip from that. So if I'm going to go with a wood scaled knife, it's either got to be beautiful, or I'd rather have synthetic. I think, just me talking, where mileage may vary. But all in all, a superb piece of cutlery. I still got to get a half 40 Endura of some kind. I love the steel. The blade geometry is awesome. The handle ergos are still really good. I might do a stretch too, though, with that nicer forward choil. You never know. I thought you guys would like to see this and maybe see it in HD rather than a still picture on a website of the best looking handle they could find, because It's not stunning. Just thought you'd like to see that one. Grace to you and peace, my friends, from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. And remember, the Word and this here Endura are sharp.